Every lie begins with fear, fear of rejection, fear of punishment, fear of the truth itself. And yet, every civilization is built on lies. Governments lie to maintain order. Corporations lie to protect profits. People lie to protect their egos. So ask yourself, if everyone lies, does truth even exist? Or is truth just the most convincing lie that everyone agrees to believe? Lying isn't a defect of human nature. It is human nature. Studies show the average person lies 10 to 20 times a day, often without realizing it. Small lies, called white lies, act like social grease. They keep relationships from cracking under the weight of honesty. But every lie, no matter how small, rewires the brain. The amygdala, the region that processes guilt, fires the first few times we lie. But as we repeat deception, that signal fades. The more we lie, the less guilty we feel. This is how corruption begins, not with one grand scheme, but with tiny, harmless lies repeated until the mind adapts to deceit. Let's start with the most intimate battlefield: love. A husband hides his phone, a wife says, "I'm fine." Each one tells a small lie to avoid conflict, but that lie becomes the foundation of silence. And silence becomes the language of strangers. Research from the University of Massachusetts shows 60% people can't go 10 minutes in a conversation without lying. And here's the disturbing part. They don't lie to manipulate. They lie to manage perception. They want to control how others see them, to appear stronger, kinder, more interesting, or less broken. Lies, then, are not always told to deceive others. They're told to protect the fragile image we have of ourselves. Here's the darkest truth. The most dangerous lies are the ones we tell ourselves. Cognitive psychologists call this self-deception, the brain's defense mechanism to reduce emotional pain. And when reality threatens our self-image, the brain edits the memory. It blurs the edges of guilt. It convinces us that we are the victim. This is why addicts swear they can quit anytime. Why abusers claim it wasn't that bad. Why entire governments justify wars in the name of freedom. The lie becomes a mirror, one that reflects what we want to see, not what's there. It starts small. A cover story, a missing receipt, a little exaggeration on a resume. But here's what neuroscience reveals. Each time we lie without consequence, the amygdala's emotional resistance weakens. The next lie becomes easier, and then easier until deception becomes second nature. This is called moral disengagement. It's how good people commit terrible acts while believing they're still good. In 2001, one of the largest companies in the world, Enron, collapsed under the weight of deception. Its executives lied about profits, fabricated reports, and manipulated markets, all while convincing employees to invest their life savings. When it unraveled, $74 billion in investor money vanished. Thousands lost their jobs. But when investigators asked, "Why did you lie?" many executives insisted they didn't think they were lying. That's the key. They had convinced themselves their actions were justified, that the ends would justify the means. This is called motivated reasoning. It's when your desire for an outcome overrides your perception of truth. It's not that they couldn't see the truth, it's that they chose not to. We say we want truth, but do we really? Truth disrupts comfort. It forces confrontation. It demands responsibility. And so most people unconsciously prefer beautiful lies over painful truths. They seek leaders who promise certainty, not honesty. Partners who say you're perfect, not you need to change. friends who agree, not challenge. In a world where information is infinite, right, truth is no longer what's real, it's what's comfortable. Nowhere is deception more refined than in politics. Throughout history, rulers have weaponized lies to control the masses. They call it spin, but it's really psychological engineering. One leader spreads fear of an invisible enemy. Another promises salvation from chaos. A hero narrative, citizens, desperate for order, embrace the lie as hope. This is known as the big lie technique, coined by Hitler himself. Make the lie big, make it simple, keep saying it, and eventually they will believe it. Because repetition breeds familiarity, and the human brain confuses familiarity with truth. Here's the paradox. Lies hold society together, but they also tear it apart. We lie to protect peace. We lie to sell dreams. We lie to survive, but every layer of deceit distances us from reality until we no longer know what's real. When you can't trust others, when you can't trust yourself, what's left to believe in? The truth isn't lost, it's just buried beneath the comfort of lies we keep repeating. These are not ordinary liars. They are architects of deception. Men and women who study psychology like weapon engineers, crafting illusions so convincing, even truth itself bends around them. They don't just lie to hide something, they lie to own you. Every manipulator operates with three invisible tools: charm, fear, confusion. Charm to lower your defenses, fear to control your emotions, confusion to keep you questioning reality. Psychologists call this the triad of persuasion. Charm gives you dopamine, it feels good to trust them. Fear releases cortisol, it makes you obey. Confusion disrupts logic, it prevents resistance. Combine the three and you have the formula of psychological enslavement. Meet the gaslighter. Their power lies not in what they say, but in what they make you doubt. They start with kindness, love bombing, validation, empathy. Then they introduce small contradictions. I never said that. You're remembering it wrong. You're overreacting. At first, it feels harmless. Then slowly, your confidence erodes. Your memory fractures. You begin to apologize for things you didn't do. This is the slow death of certainty. Gaslighters exploit one fundamental human need, the need to be understood. They weaponize your desire for harmony until you surrender it completely. Now imagine this in the corporate world. Your boss flatters your talent, promises promotion, says you're indispensable, then slowly adds impossible tasks, guilt, and pressure. You begin staying late, skipping breaks, sacrificing weekends, because you believe you're the chosen one. This isn't loyalty, it's psychological control. Corporate manipulators understand ego dependence. They feed your ambition until you tie your self-worth to their approval. Then they withdraw it, forcing you to chase validation like an addict chasing a high. At the heart of every manipulation lies one primal fear: rejection. Humans evolved in tribes. Rejection once meant death, so the brain treats social disapproval as physical pain. Manipulators exploit this. They isolate you subtly. Your friends don't understand you, they're jealous. They don't see how special you are. Once isolation sets in, the manipulator becomes your sole emotional oxygen, and when they withhold it, you suffocate. That's how emotional addiction begins, not through cruelty, but through conditional affection. History's most dangerous deceivers weren't tyrants. They were charmers: Jim Jones, Charles Manson, David Koresh. They all used the same formula: love, purpose, isolation, fear. First, they promised meaning, then they offered belonging, and finally, they demanded surrender. What began as faith turned into obedience. What began as love turned into control, and what began as a message from God ended in mass death. Psychologists studying survivors found the same pattern of neural conditioning. Like each sermon triggered dopamine highs, followed by fear lows. Over time, followers became chemically dependent on the cult leader's approval, a cycle indistinguishable from drug addiction. No, but not all cults wear robes or sing hymns. Some wear logos and algorithms. Social media platforms are the new priests of deception. They feed you curated realities, engineered outrage, and dopamine-driven validation loops. The algorithm doesn't care about truth, it cares about attention. And attention is the new currency of control. When you believe your feed represents reality, you become a believer in a digital religion built on bias. Manipulators online, influencers, fake experts, demagogues don't sell lies, they sell certainty. And in a world of confusion, certainty is irresistible. What kind of person becomes a master deceiver? Psychologists identify 3 overlapping traits: the dark triad, narcissism, Machiavellianism, psychopathy. Narcissists lie to protect their fragile ego. Machiavellians lie to manipulate outcomes. Psychopaths lie simply because they can, without conscience, without emotion. The most dangerous manipulators blend all 3. They read empathy the way hunters read tracks. They imitate emotions they don't feel. They study you, not to understand you, but to control you. But here's the twist. They rarely see themselves as villains. To them, deception is survival. It's strategy. It's art. Every lie leaves fingerprints. Every manipulator slips, not in words, but in patterns. Now, we turn the mirror. You'll learn how to see through the disguise, how to break the emotional bonds that keep you obedient to lies, and how to build psychological immunity so that no one can ever use your emotions against you again. Because once you understand the science of deception, you become immune to it. Every lie begins as a story, but every truth leaves a pattern, and once you learn to see that pattern, you'll never see the world the same way again. Deception is not an art of words. It's the art of distraction. The liar doesn't hide the truth, they hide your attention. In this video, we strip away every illusion, every trick, and every psychological smokescreen. You'll learn how to detect deception in anyone, lover, leader, colleague, not by guessing their intentions, but by reading their inconsistencies. Section 1. The behavioral blueprint of a liar. Liars always underestimate one thing: the human brain's craving for patterns. They work to appear consistent, but the body betrays them. Here's what to watch for. 1. Micro-expressions. Flashes of emotion that last less than half a second. A smile that fades too fast. 2. Cognitive overload. The brain juggles memory and fabrication at once, leading to pauses, stutters, or unnatural eye movements. 3. Overcompensation. The liar acts honest. They make direct eye contact, speak calmly, and repeat your name to earn trust. But the truth doesn't rehearse. Authenticity flows without effort. Deception requires performance. When someone tries too hard to convince you, ask yourself, why are they selling the truth so hard? Section 2. Cognitive dissonance. The liar's blind spot. Every human mind wants to believe it's good. So even liars rewrite their memories to justify their actions. They don't think they're lying. They think they're protecting, saving, or surviving. This creates cognitive dissonance, the tension between truth and self-image. Over time, this pressure leaks out through contradiction, a word choice that shifts, a story retold with new details, a tone that doesn't match the message. If you want to see through deception, don't confront, observe. The longer a liar talks, the closer they get to the truth they're trying to bury. The key is pattern recognition. Compare their words today to their words yesterday, their story to their behavior, their claims to their consequences. Truth is always consistent, lies decay with time. Section 3, emotional misdirection. Professional deceivers, from cult leaders to master manipulators, use emotion as camouflage. They know logic triggers resistance, but emotion bypasses analysis, so they use fear to silence questions, pity to lower your guard, anger to distract you, love to make you surrender. Every emotion they use serves one purpose: to keep your mind too busy to think. When you feel emotionally hijacked, step back, ask, why am I being made to feel this way? What action does this emotion make me want to take? That question alone breaks the spell. Turnit's emotional intelligence isn't empathy, it's awareness. It's seeing manipulation and choosing clarity over comfort. Section 4, the tools of detection. You don't need a lie detector to spot deceit. You need to listen differently. The most powerful tools against a deception are simple: polite silence. Liars fear empty space. They rush to fill it. Ask for details. Liars speak in generalities to avoid traps. Chronology. Ask them to retell the story backwards. Truth has structure. Lies collapse without sequence. Neutrality. Stay calm. Emotional reactions give liars a script. Silence makes them improvise, and that's where they slip. Okay? Remember, the goal isn't to expose, it's to understand. Because when you understand how a liar thinks, right, you gain the power to never be deceived again. Section 5, rebuilding trust with awareness. When you see through lies, the world changes. You realize that honesty isn't the default state of humanity. It's a choice. But don't let awareness turn you cynical. Not everyone who lies is evil. Some lie from fear, shame, or desperation. The goal isn't to hate the deceiver. It's to protect your peace. So trust carefully, not blindly. Verify before you believe. Observe before you react. And when the truth hurts, let it teach you, not harden you. Because deception thrives in ignorance, but dies in awareness. The moment you start seeing clearly, the lie loses its power. And the truth, even when painful, becomes your weapon. In a world built on illusion, your awareness is your freedom. This was The Hidden Psychology of Lies and Deception. Subscribe, because the next episode will teach you how power hides in plain sight. Tag someone who trusts too easily. They need to hear this before it's too late. What's the biggest lie you've ever caught someone telling? Comment below. Your story might teach someone else. If this video opened your eyes, share it. Awareness spreads faster than deception. Follow for the next episode, where we expose the psychology of control and how to resist it. Join the conversation. How do you spot a liar? Your tip could save someone from manipulation.